Hello, welcome to the second episode of my space exploration series where the power is running low. Do you remember where I said in the last episode that everything takes a lot more resources to make? Well, that's the case also for green science. As you can see, it requires a lot more resources and a lot more intermediate products such as small electric motors and single cylinder engines to make the inserters and the transport belts. I decided to go with one science pack per second for the earthly science because I don't know what it requires for later science packs and etc. But I'll try to maintain this formula. And now it's the time to start the steel production. Now, not in this mode, not only the recipes are different, but also the smelting is different. For example, in vanilla Factorio, it requires one iron plate to make one steel plate, but in this case, it requires five iron plates to make five steel plates. It's not a big difference, it's still a 1-to-1 ratio, but it's still a bit different because it draws more resources from the main bus. Something that I found really frustrating at the beginning is that exactly that some stuff run out very quickly, such as transport belts and inserters, because they take so long and so many resources to build. On the latest version of space exploration, I found some differences from the 0.5, and one of those is that there is a space elevator. Now, I didn't try it on my test world because I just saw it and I didn't want to ruin the fun of trying it legitimately on the original run. But I found out about it, and I thought it was uh, interesting to just talk about it just for a little. Now, I have to admit that it took me quite a while to put the steel in the main bus, and that's a big mistake because I didn't have enough space to put it because I had some the moles under the main bus and the science packs over the main bus, and that was a bit tricky because I had to pass it through the undergrounds and the splitters, but it wasn't that big of a deal, and I was able to connect the steel to the main bus pretty quickly. And as you can see here, I forgot a little bit about the steel because as you can see, I built everything and then I remembered, oh wait, I don't have steel on the main bus and I need it. So I went and did everything that was required. Now, do you remember at the start of the episode that I said I had no power? Well, the factory shut down for a little bit, but that was okay. I just built some burner turbines until I could research the steam power. Luckily, with the automation of logistic science packs, I was able to unlock steam power. So I built some steam turbines and upgraded technically the power generation. And once again, as everything else, the steam turbines require a lot more resources as in Vanilla Factorio. As you can see down in the crafting queue, you can see that it requires also electric motors, except of I think it's steel plates and pipes in Vanilla Factorio, but I'm not quite sure because I haven't played Vanilla for quite a bit. Oh yeah, and also offshore pumps require electricity. That's not so bad, but if your factory shuts down from power shortage, it's more difficult to kickstart it again. Like in Vanilla Factorio, the offshore pumps could run even without electricity, and that was very helpful when there was a power outage and you could kickstart it with a little bit of coal. And because this was my first time playing this mod, I thought that it was a very good idea to put everything on the bus. Coal, bricks, stone bricks, everything that I thought I would find helpful later down the run is there. Now with everything on a bus, I can start the solar panel production, although I don't know how helpful solar panels will be because they don't produce that much power and requires also accumulators to store this power that they produce. And I think I'll go with the nuclear option later because it produces a lot more power with a lot less space. And one more difference, it's just a minor one, is that for green circuits instead of copper wire and iron plates, it requires stone tablets that are made from stone bricks and copper wire. It's an insignificant change, but if you factor in that it requires extra assemblers to build the stone tablets, it's just a little bit more tedious. Oh yeah, and the solar panels require glass that is made from sand, that is made from crushed rock from assemblers, where you burn it on a furnace. And probably the last thing for today's video is the automation of military science. Usually military science is the last science pack that is being automated, but in this mode it's pretty helpful to have automated military science because you need many of the things that you unlock from acquiring it. And the trains will be pretty helpful, I think. Who doesn't find the trains helpful? Anyway, for my military science, in order to have one science per second, I went with 8 assemblers for the science packs. And do you remember what I said about the ratios on the first episode? Well, my brain did not have a very good time thinking about how to make one science per second on the military science, because I had to figure out how many grenades I'll need, how many piercing mag rounds, how many normal mags I'll need, and how many walls I'll need. As you can see, it took me quite a while to think about it, and it was kind of frustrating. but after all this thinking, I, I went with 5 assemblers that produce the walls. And also the stone walls have a different recipe from the vanilla Factorio, where instead of being made by stone, there you need to make them with stone bricks, which technically forces you to put the bricks on the main bus, except if you're using a spaghetti type base, which is a bit strange. Honestly, now, who likes using a spaghetti type base? It's just you don't know where everything goes. For the piercing ammunition, I went with an 8 assembler design. Something that the more experienced the players will know, but less experienced players might not know, is that when you're using a main bus design for your base, you'll have to build periodically belt balancers that basically do what their name suggests. They balance the amount of base products that are in each transport belt. For the normal ammunition, I built just 4 assemblers that I think that are enough for providing the 8 normal ones, the piercing ones, cause each normal mag requires 0.5 seconds, I think, to build, and each piercing one requires 1 second to build. So for every second, the 4 assemblers with the normal munitions produce 8 mags, and for each second, every piercing mag, every assembler that produces piercing mags consumes 1 normal mag. So it's basically a good ratio. For the grenades, I built 8 of them again because of the ratio. Although, as I said on the first episode, I don't think there'll always be the right ones, but I'll try to always be quite right. Although that might not be possible later with the space science, and not the space science pack, but the science packs that are required to be in space to be produced. Now, where everything is hooked up and this episode comes to an end, I would like to thank you for watching. If you want, like the video, although I don't force anyone, everyone does whatever she wants. Once again, I think the format of this video was a bit different from the last one. I'll try to change a little bit the format in between episodes in order to just see what works the best for me and for the video. Of course, if a format gets more views, I'll probably use it, because come on now, who doesn't want a bit more views? uh, Anyway, thanks again for watching, and have a nice day or evening or afternoon or night, depending on when you see the video or where you live at the moment that it comes out.